Good morning. From the file of frequently asked questions, why do we move the hen mobile so often? The short answer is these hens exist to fertilize this entire field. More fertility means better soil health. Better soil health means more biodiversity. More biodiversity means more forage for these guys, lower feed bills, and better environmental benefits. If we kept these guys stationary, then we'd have to worry about their manure inside of their house and eventually in here. Eventually they would burn this out. Let me show you. See how the grass looks here? Tall, thick, and lush. Well, compare that to where they just were, where it's all matted down, a little poopy. The crowns of the plants have been scratched. If we had kept them here long enough, this entire section would eventually look like where their hen mobile had been sitting, which is here. So that might look like mud, but it's not. That is poop. And yeah, it took them just 3 days, I think not even 3 full days, to generate all that manure. Now again, that looks like that because it's been raining for about 4 days straight. So they've been spending a lot of time inside the hen mobile and not necessarily out there. So under normal conditions where it's only raining maybe every 5 or 6 days, that would look little less poopy, but the area where their run is would look a little bit more poopy. The name of the game for the pastured poultry farmer is to not let too much poop accumulate into one place. You want just enough to fertilize the ground so you get this nice, tall, thick, high forage count grass. But if you have too much, it'll start to burn out that grass. And if you have too much, you could wind up with water runoff issues, which means the rivers are going to have a bad time. As I always tell people around here in Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay region of Virginia, your crabs are expensive because your eggs are cheap. What's really interesting to note is that this field and the one over there on the other side of that fence line were mowed at the same time. But that field has never, ever had poultry on it. Now I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna grab a handful of forage off of this field. Notice how I can grip this whole thing and pull it like that. That is super long. Let's go look at the grass over there. So we're here in field 4. We're gonna grab a bit of that and we're gonna compare it. All right, so here's the grass from my chicken field. Here's the grass from the field without any animal impact. Huge difference. Now, one day we're going to get back into cattle, and that difference in forage counts is going to be a really big deal for us in terms of using less land to do the same amount of cattle. Why? Because if we've got an acre over there with grass that looks like the long grass I showed you, and we've got an acre here with the grass that looks like the short grass that I showed you, then we can probably keep cows for almost twice as long, the same number of cows for almost twice as long on that same acre, which means we need half the land for the same number of cattle. That's a really big deal for making stuff like beef more environmentally sustainable and friendly, and it's all thanks to chicken poop and moving these guys all the time at the exact right time, the exact right place, and under the right circumstances. Hope that helps. Have a good Tuesday.